So my name is Michael, and we don't have many people, so if we have any questions, feel free just to ask me. And we don't have that long either, so we'll talk a little bit. I came to France, I'm American, 10 years ago or 11 years ago to go work with Chen Phim and Renee Mabor of the Blue Ocean Strategy Institute for many, many years. And specifically what we're doing is online tools for helping people do strategic ideation long before there was much of a fad in this field. I've been working in this for really my whole life. The original was I have undergrad in communications and computer science fused together, called communicative information systems. Hi, it's okay. And a doctorate in law to go not practice, but work with lawyers, and did a lot of that too. So what we're going to talk about briefly is a new way of thinking about these LLMs and how to work with them, fusing together the expertise of experts along with the help of the LLMs. I'm not going to give a demo, but the reason is because you could just log into our website. I've opened up a couple of our new tools I'm going to be talking about and try it anytime on your own today or whenever, but especially today. We opened it up. Like you can see here, they've been doing this just forever. So these are 20 some odd year old patent applications and talks about AI and strategic ideation. A lot of people have sort of become experts in the past 2 years, but I would take it with a little bit of a grain of salt. For the longest time, we call this, and we still call it, expert systems thinking, and how you take the expertise of a specific vertical application and fuse it with AI. The LLMs are incredibly powerful and very useful, but we've been doing this for a very long time with other kinds of logic before them. What we call this, we being me and the groups I work with, is augmented intelligence rather than artificial intelligence. So the idea is that we're using the computer and the machines in the computer to augment and help human intelligence. Right now, it's become kind of a fad to say, the computers will think for us. Whereas maybe have all these talks coming out about general artificial intelligence, and maybe that will happen, maybe not. But really, we think for the longest time that the computers are there as a tool. We don't try to say, are you going to run faster than a car? You're not on the street. It would be ridiculous to say so. But at the same time, humans control the cars, and we get a lot of value from the cars, and we should also from AI. With regular tools, and if you go to our website, VStrat.ai, just make a login and try the tools that are there right now. Try the tools that are there right now. There are 3 basic ways to go and make the tools. So one is what is called in the field now one-shot thinking. That is, we ask the AI what it will come up with. We take the output and parse it. We have the computer take it all apart, and we make a front end. And again, these are vertical applications. This specific ones are for marketing or for Blue Ocean strategy and value innovation. And those are useful. You don't even need AI for them, but made this long before, or the new generative AI, but what we used to call AI. I don't have any problem with those. I made those for many, many years. And if you look to this day, what people would call, you bought your tickets for this event, is an AI-based system, right? We had the pleasure of 2.5 hours of trains delays because of strikes. But again, AI-based system using conditionals and statements and loops and everything else. It's just that today we have advanced to a new level of what this means and where we're going with it, which is this. And this is what we are calling agentic AI. So rather than one shot and asking the LLM, hey, give me an answer, we say, LLM, do your best. And it will ask itself over and over again, is this a good answer? What does this person mean? And it comes up with something, and it recycles that either through itself or through another LLM to come up with a better answer. And those answers are becoming very good sometimes. And you'll see that in like OpenAI's O3 and many, many different types of AI. But what we're focused on lately is expert-guided cognitive analysis. So with this idea, where we originally, this is what we really wanted to talk about. Again, we don't have too long, but we'll introduce it. With this idea, we ask an expert to lay out blocks for the AI to follow. We call them paths. So think about this, and think about this, and then think about that. And based on everything you've thought about and everything you've come up with and how an expert has guided you, then come up with an answer. If you try VStrat.ai, you'll see this working in our persona maker, where we have to find the steps for making a persona, name and age, backgrounds, and each block takes all the information from a previous block and uses it to go make a new block of information. This, we think, is probably where we're going to be until we have an AGI type application. We're guiding the AI, we're having the human work with the AI, we're not saying human do it all, and we're not saying AI do it all. We're saying the very best. I was just in the hospital for a COVID application a few weeks ago, but we're saying the very best is if doctor, work with an AI, let guide the AI. Okay, don't try and do everything on your own. That hasn't worked so well, but don't ask the AI to do everything too, because it comes up with some pretty serious mistakes sometimes. And with that, I think this talk, is like really short. So we're about out of time. We have like, 5-10 minutes for questions or something. And I'm happy to talk about this. And also, like I said, we've opened up VStrat, so log in, make a login. It's free today and give it all a try. Or I could even open the web browser and try it now, assuming this thing is connected.
So one thing is that our system does not really work well with bones. I see a lot of people have bones, and it's only made for computers right now. We are very little, and we only have 4 people in our team, so we haven't.
They're all kind of professors.
The bone applications yet.
Let's see if we could open up Chrome or a browser and make things work. I don't know. I'm going to try and use the French keyboard. We'll see how this goes. But
we're not going to make it. You do yourself.
I've already blown it. Yes.
So can I ask you this, or do you want me to write out there?
That's okay. We're not going to ask him. No, ask me questions. Much easier than me trying to use the French keyboard.
What you're describing is also something I've been doing with my students. I'm saying what you're expressing about expert guided cognitive agents is basically an AI using a canvas, pretty much.
Sure. So let me show you. Let's go back to the other. What I'm going to show you and how this works is we use. Can we open this up? I guess not. There we go. Whatever. We use a YAML. And for a YAML, what happens is we divide things into blocks of logic. We call it.
And that's my point. I'm not asking about the technical architecture. It's more about the logic blocks. So, and I'm doing pretty much the same thing with the existing canvases coming from design thinking, the lean startup, and so on.
Yeah.
But my question is, since you've been doing this for a while, have you perhaps measured like the incremental gain from doing this way compared to doing to not doing it?
Astronomical to the point. So what I'm working with already, I came from INSEAD, I worked with a bunch of INSEAD professors. We work with Harvard and Wharton and Michigan, a bunch of other academics, UCI. And we had, and we still have, if you look online, the first version of One Shot, and we have some agentic thinking. But when we turn on and try the first version of, it's just our trend tool and our second customer journey map, it's slower. We could see it priming and thinking through it, but the output is night and day. I mean, it blows people, experts, lifers in this field away.
No, because the qualitatively, I've experienced it myself. I was asking about quantitative, perhaps measurement.
Not yet. We had to know how that, we will probably be there, but right now what we're trying to do is we're focused on our two human-guided tools are right now our customer journey map and our trained machine. Those we're building these tools for, and we have the old way of working on it too. Once we get those perfected, and they're so, you'll see it granular, give it a try, then we probably will add, because we have, that's what we're doing with Carver, we have PhD researchers who are doing exactly what you're doing, not only just trying One Shot compared to new way. In fact, I have a talk Thursday, Wednesday, tomorrow with them about exactly what you're talking about there, and also about just old school entrepreneurs trying to build something with and without AI to try to quantify and figure out the right white papers about the difference. One of the issues I'm having, in fact, we're closing some investment rounds. One of the issues I'm having is that we're working a lot with academics. And so some of the investors are like, how do you make any money from that? We're like, don't worry about it. They will sit there. And hopefully we will. But we're totally interested in that as much as anything else. How do you take agentic thinking, guided agentic, and quantify it compared to traditional one-shot or computer agentic or the computer guides itself? Will we ever reach an AGI using that? I honestly, I don't know. I probably should even say, but I don't think so. I think it's like trying to get to an endpoint by going halfway every time. We'll get really close. We're trying to get to the end. It's sort of like,
well, what they say, magic is just tech that's sufficiently advanced. Eventually, the frontier becomes so thin, it's hard to know.
Yeah, it's hard to know. And you know, when there's stuff that, you can say, I've got some gray library, I've been doing this forever, that would it just blow us away? We'll have a patent its application on medical INSEAD, and how to guide people through getting better information, get better information that always happened to them, that I abandoned 20 some years ago because the tech wasn't there. And they said, you know what, this would okay, what are they saying? How would they add up? This would be sci-fi if we could actually come up with it. Well, guess what? We're up with it. But all what you're seeing now is all output-based, but this would be the same on input-based, adding a personal log in the interview or something like that. So it's a really exciting time. I mean, most people don't tell INSEAD with a steady CDI goodbye and blah, we're to be on my own. But this was exciting enough and big enough an opportunity to do that. Anybody else? Nothing? Which is probably good because we've got so little time on this thing.
Still have gifted?
Yeah, you still have to send.
I'm going to plug my computer and say, actually, give me my computer. You see if it actually works. Could use a keyboard. I'll show you what this thing looks like, because until you've seen it and a difference in it, it's really kind of neat. Tell me about more I'm trying to hook this thing up, what you're doing.
So yeah, sure. So basically there's a lot of canvases ranging from, things to work on problem statements and, understand the problem, the users. I mean, a lot of what's shown. And so what I've been doing is really trying to formulate the canvases, giving them to my students, and then either having AI automatically give them feedback. So they input, in the different fields. So probably doing something which is similar one way or another to what you're expressing. And what's super interesting is that, again, the more structured the information, the better the AI is at giving feedback or filling in the gaps, which is super interesting because then you can have a very, very early stage idea, concept, anything. And by telling specifically the AI the blocks that you would like for it to fill in, then you get kind of this map of concepts around your initial concept that gets filled in. So And again, as we were saying, like qualitatively, the results are much higher than just asking the AI, oh yeah, like
much better. To be guided by a person is ridiculously better. Okay, system settings, displays. I always say go. First machine is going to come up with the stages of a customer journey, and then it's going to ponder each one, and it's going to go through and say, this is based on one of our marketing experts, say, okay, what are the goals, touch points, pain points, and activities? And it's running through the blocks for each one based on this human-guided agentic I came up with. And there we see it coming up with the answers kind of slowly. But, that's what I said first. And one of my marketers said, ma'am, we take like 2 weeks to do this. So a minute is a fast improvement. And you could see it coming up with the stages of a customer journey for a conference or awareness. How did you find out about this? Registration. How did they register? And that was honestly kind of a pain for us. We sort of got lost ourselves. Preparation. Well, they were from out of town. And for example, we came from Fontainebleau, which is only 45 minutes away. Thanks to a strike, it was almost 3 hours. So, it could be a pain point. Attendance, we're all here. I'm trying to hook myself off to a French keyboard. And then a follow-up. And typically what you would do with something like this is look at the different pain points involved somewhere like that. And then finally, based on your pain points, you're going to come up with opportunity. So I won't bother, or maybe I will. You click on a pain point and the machine is going to think, here, let's try it a little bit more. So uncertainty about confirmation, that actually sums me up right there. So click, maybe click. Good question, Pete. Oh, seamless. Oh, it did actually work. So it shows an opportunities. What would be the opportunities for this online registration? That actually didn't go so well, but we tried. Bye.
I have not the feeling that it is very far from what I can get.
Now I put this down and I can hear.
I have not the feeling that it is very far from what I can get from a regular ChatGPT.
Oh, it's completely different. So it's actually what we've done is when we talk about regular ChatGPT, and we use that all the time, it looks at just a wall of text, an enormous amount of text coming up.
It depends on what you give it up.
Now, when we divided everything into stages and into groups of pieces, you won't see it on ChatGPT. It will make you a chart. Eventually, it'll probably catch up. Maybe not. But if you want just this long, rambling roll of text, look, people made these tools for a reason a long time ago. There's a reason we have customer journey apps, strategy canvases, everything else. It's because we want heuristics. We want shortcuts. People don't think in these long pieces of text. We have great information coming out from them, but we don't have what we're okay with. So if you look at this, it's each of these is a block. We click on block to get more information. ChatGPT and multi-net, it will just ramble on and on and on and on. And I love it. I use all the LLMs. I use them in the program. I use them for research. I think they're great. But I also have a doctor, and the people I work with do too. And for kind of regular business people that we talk to all the time, they just don't. I mean, you see it. There was how many business search study just came out. Business people are using generative AI, 2%. They look at it, sorry, what? So how many business people are using generative AI in any substantive way? 2%, nobody. Because they type something in, they get some long piece of text, and they say, well, forget it. I'm not going to read all that. It's not what I'm answering a question that I came up with. I'm not used to it. That's kind of the superficial answer. Not an answer.
I have a little bit of an answer to that. I work with professors on building the actual tools, and when we work on that and we talk about what's the difference between this and ChatGPT, for example, and what we come down to is that I talk to a marketing professor who perhaps building a customer journey. He goes in ChatGPT and he knows exactly what to put in. He knows because he's teaching on a daily basis and he knows the goal. Where do I want to be at? What properly questions I should ask to get a correct answer. Perhaps a consultant or a little medium-sized business who trying to create a customer journey, they just not going to have ability to know exactly what to ask ChatGPT. Because if you don't ask correct questions, you're not going to get an answer you're actually looking for. And that's why we work with a lot of professors that actually work together with us to put the system together that guides it in the right direction.
Yeah, that's what we're talking about with this human guided. The output is very valuable, but if it's a just long rambling amount of text, unless you're an expert who knows how to read it, take it apart, do something with it, most people aren't. The vast majority are.
I think maybe the question perhaps you are asking was about like if you're using a mega prompt, like something that is not a mega prompt for that, but although there's web formatting prompt to put it in formats, but not just the format. I mean, I know there's some websites where either you can generate them yourselves or you can find really really huge prompts. Then you can add some structure and you can. But I think the point here perhaps is that if you try to do this like naively, you're going to get stuck eventually along the way or get lost along the way. So either you find a tool or you learn or you find the mega prompt that maybe will get you there without the expert in the room, basically.
Yeah, it's the same as what a human does. If when you ask a doctor, help me, doctor, or you ask a professor, what are you thinking, or you ask a vet, they're going to say, do this and this and that and this. Usually they won't give you an answer right away. They'll help guide you to an answer. That's what we're doing with the AIs. You could do it on your own if you ask question after question in just the right order and parse the right information. But people don't do that with that's what we're aiming with AGI, the big companies. Will it actually work? I don't know. Maybe. We'll see.
To understand, is there a value, the added value of these strats to take inputs from the LLM and then to format it into canvas?
So format turns in another guiding the LLM into what goes in the canvas. So it's actually the strategy canvas that there's trend tools and cut preparedness. Well, lots of tools in there. But both of it is changing the output of the LLM or something that's more manageable for people and guiding the LLM through the experts that we work with. So
is this a kind of a formatting layer?
Yeah, so it is a formatting layer. We think that vertical applications, if we think about look at databases, relational databases. So once upon a time, they were the bomb. You went in, you look at Oracle, it's a small type anything, and you'll get answers back. And people are like, you don't type anything. It's like these long joins that only programmers come up with, and they're complicated, and you get an answer. So what do we see instead? Now we see all these vertical applications. We see the Shopify's and all of the rest of them, which are just front ends to that. We think the same thing is going to happen with LLMs. There's no way that people will go for these long outputs that kind of ramble on. You have to keep asking the right questions over and over again. It seems very far-fetched that is going to just happen. It never happened before. The idea that will happen again is unlikely. You never know, but history kind of guides us.
So I use agentic LLM, LLM coding with LLMs. And what's sort of changing the game is asking it to break it down into tasks. So if you want to accomplish something, like go through like this, and then you break it out to tasks, and then ask it to execute the tasks individually. You're like limiting the risk and the uncertainty of what you're asking.
And if we look at a persona, what we say is, first, more about the stages. Straightforward. That's a one shot. And then for each stage, we say, here are everything that a person would guide you through. We saw the I'm doing that, and it grinds through. The only difference, and it's a big difference between traditional agentic and that, which is a big difference, is that you have a human guiding the process rather than the machine guiding the process and guessing what the right output is. But it can also vary by individual and what they want. Some people want short bullets. Some people want long descriptions. Some people want so use program in the prompts inside the guide, the path to the LLM, and it will turn out whatever you asked for. So a different way of thinking about things. So the question is, I should wrap it up or about gone. But the question is whether the LLMs will approach an AGI. They're gonna have anything like this and they'll just do it all for you. Maybe, but I don't think for a very long time. We get all this hype coming up, but we've ever hyped since I'm not young, since I'm a teenager. They've been hyping computers and tools and what they'll do. The AI lab, the MIT AI lab was established in 1959. Most of us, I think all of us were from court. Most of our parents were in prayer. So it tells you how long we can try to get to this idea of AGI and it's never happened. Will it happen now? Finally? Maybe. But I'm not going to, and the people I work with, and hopefully most of you are not going to kind of beg and wait and see. We try to move forward with what we have. And what we have is really powerful. Okay, with that, I think we're done, or more than done. Thanks for, and grab you. Yeah.